In this video, I'm bringing you yet another epic product review. This time, I'm reviewing the Fk'n Mint sleeves, which are sleeves that are made by a Reddit user in a small shop and are touted as being affordable, yet durable and comfortable. I went ahead and tried these for over a month, so I gave them a lot of use and I have a lot of things to say about it. It's actually going to be a very short and quick review, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first let's do a quick product overview. So here you go. This is the Etsy shop where you can buy these sleeves. I'll go ahead and link it below in the description. You can find it there. It's called the Fk'n Mint sleeves, and you can buy one for $18. And I'll go ahead and do an unboxing. He actually, just full disclosure, I was sent this free by the creator, which was very kind. But as always, I always try to give an honest review and full disclosure, full transparency. I did get this for free. So how does this compare with other sleeves? So at first, I thought it was going to be a good replacement for this AliExpress sleeves, which I actually like quite a bit. These are $242 only, and I use them for mainly for pumping as a comfort sleeve, to make sure that my scrum doesn't get sucked into the pump, and to create a good seal. These are great, but they're so degradable. They just tear so easily, and it's not even worth it. I ended up getting them basically in bulk, and I actually love these a lot. And the material is very similar. Well, I'll go into the full review in a second. So keep in mind, this is a little bit cheaper, these AliExpress ones, but I'm already telling you the quality is horrible on these. So I was looking forward to trying these out to be a replacement mainly for the vacuum pump. And so I'll show you my thoughts in a second after this product review. In any case, so these AliExpress ones are $242. Then you have the LGHanger ones, which I've already reviewed before. Make sure you check out that video. And one sleeve for that is $29.95. So again, 18 versus 29, so a little bit over $10 difference. Okay, and then you can also compare them with the Totalman sleeves, which are $15 each. So they're actually a little bit more expensive. So they're not exactly super cheap, at least not in comparison to the AliExpress ones. But how do they compare? As you know, I've actually owned all of these sleeves, and so I have a lot of thoughts, and I actually went ahead and compared it. So let's go ahead and get into the actual review. All right, so before I actually do the product review, I'm going to do a quick unboxing. As I said, this is going to be a super quick review, so I'm not going to bother changing the camera. It's also like super simple. So in any case, basically the package looks like this. He sent me an extra package. I don't recall exactly what the difference is, but I think like it's just in size. I'm not sure, but anyways, he sent me an extra package. So I tried the first package. Actually, he sent me 3 in total. I had some issues with the first package, the first sort of sleeves. He ended up apparently this was like super early on in the process. This was like a few months ago. He sent me the latest versions, and so these were the ones that I actually ended up trying, the ones that you can buy now. So these are the ones that I'm reviewing. In any case, he ended up sending me an extra one, and so this is the one that's here. I already used the sleeves, from the other package. So in any case, let's go ahead and open it and see what's inside. Okay, so here's what it looks like. So here we have one sort of long sleeve. Looks great. The cut is a little bit right. It's not like machine cut. You can sort of tell the cut is like a little uneven on one side. The other side seems clean. Okay. Here comes another one. Now I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. Okay. Yeah, I don't see much of a description on the website as to what the difference is. Maybe the Fk'n Mint shop guy can put the actual differences down below as a comment, and I'll go ahead and pin it. From what I can tell, one is longer. It's a little bit more firm. They appear to be sort of like the same diameter. This one is a little bit softer, a little bit more pliable. So what I would imagine is that this one I would use for the vacuum cup, and which I ended up doing now that I recall with the old one. The firmer one for the vacuum cup, and the softer one for the pump cylinder. Okay, so those are 2 that come in. Additionally, you get this little gray band. This is for when you use it on the cup, which I'll show in a second. And you actually get a third piece, which seems to be like a smaller diameter, as you can tell. And these are perfect for using as girth bands. So this is amazing. This is great because these are exactly the 3 scenarios that you're going to be using a sleeve for, right? So number 1, you have a sleeve for the vacuum cup. Number 2, you're gonna have a sleeve for your vacuum for your pump, right? For pumping. This one is for the vacuum cup for extending. And then you're gonna need one that's a little bit more tighter to use as a girth band, right? And this is also extremely helpful for the double taping technique. Make sure you read that video, which is just the most modern way of taping. And of course, it comes with a little gray band, which you're gonna need for the vacuum cup. So this is great. And these are exactly the 3 testing scenarios that I use, basically. So I'll sort of I'll just go each testing scenario one by one and tell you sort of my thoughts. Now again, I've used the LGHanger sleeves, I've used the Totalman sleeves, and I've used those cheap AliExpress sleeves, right? So for the vacuum cup, now, unfortunately, this is the testing scenario that I didn't get to test as much. Fortunately, I've just been extremely busy. I haven't been extending as much, unfortunately. So I'm like in a very, very light sort of maintenance routine. I'm only really extending maybe like an hour every other day, if that. So I did test it out. It works great. It's quite comfy. There's no leakage. I left it on the cup for long periods of time, and it held on quite well. And it was, it fulfilled its purpose quite well. Now, yeah, so I don't, so unfortunately I didn't get to test it as much, but it held its structure. It didn't develop any holes the whole time, and I did leave it on for many hours and days on the cup. So there's some instructions on the side, to give you hints as to instructions as to how you clean it. You basically just kind of clean it periodically. I like to leave mine on the cup. Now, other sleeves that I've used, those cheap AliExpress ones are absolutely useless for using on a cup. They just they break, they get little holes in them, and they're just absolutely useless for that. Especially because for a vacuum cup, you need an absolute perfect seal. You cannot have any sort of micro tears, micro perforations. It needs to be solid. It needs to last. It needs to stay. It needs to contract on the cup at all times, not lose its stretchiness, and those AliExpress don't do it. The Totalman ones are, quite good for this. I think they're a little bit stiffer. Also, I used the Malehanger ones. I'm not a huge fan of the Malehanger ones because they were just a little too stiff for me. The Totalman ones also tended to rip. I didn't use the Malehanger ones that long because it was just too stiff for my taste. The Totalman ones tend to rip if you leave it on the cup for too long, and also like that was my problem. I wasn't very happy with the sort of last Totalman ones that I reviewed. The best by far though, that I always think is the best, is the LGHanger ones. These are the ones that I literally use for years. They stay on the cup. I don't do anything. In fact, this one, like I use the LGHanger ones on my LGHanger chamber, which is what I actually use a lot these days. It's just a lot more reliable, like to create a seal, a lot more reliable to, than the Totalman cups. Regardless, like the Totalman cups, they're great, they work. But I actually these days, like, I don't want to spend extra time because I'm not getting a good seal on the Totalman cup. So I'm pretty much just using the
LGHanger
chamber these days. In any case, the sleeve that I've been using this has been here for a long time. Doesn't lose its its ability to make the seal and everything. So how does it compare? So again, unfortunately, I didn't get to test it that long, but I think this is second place. I would say this is second place. LGHanger still first place when it comes to vacuum cups, and then the rest, right? I would say like third place Totalman, fourth place maybe the Malehanger ones, and then lastly the AliExpress ones. Those are absolutely useless for these vacuum cups, right? So that was testing scenario number 1. Testing scenario number 2 is basically I took the small one, right, like the one that had like the smaller diameter, this one, and I cut it up into pieces about an inch or so each, and these are the ones that I use as girth bands. So these are super important for a number of cases, primarily for taping. So what I do is I get an erection, I put the girth bands on, I stack them on top of each other, I leave I tape up, I apply the chamber, and I take 2 off, and then I only leave 1. So I always end up wearing this for like long periods of time, and it needs to be comfortable. And you know, once I'm done extending, I'll still leave one on just to sort of stay at a more extended state for like longer periods of time, and that's pretty much my routine. So this is super important to me that it's comfy, right? And this is number one. Like, this is super comfy. This is comparable to the, in terms of comfort, like the whatever material this is quite comfy. The AliExpress ones is also quite comfy, but the AliExpress ones break. The Totalman ones not super comfy. The Malehanger ones are kind of stiff and not very comfortable at all to use as girth bands. The LGHanger ones are second, I would say. Those are great, but because the material is slightly different, it's a little bit more stiff, a little bit less soft, and for that I'm gonna give it to the Fk'n Mint. For girth bands, I think these are great, and it's lasted me for a long time. And obviously for these cases, as long as it keeps its stretchiness, it keeps its comfort, it doesn't need to maintain obviously some sort of vacuum seal. So these work, this worked great. So these are super comfortable. It worked great, and I think for the price, I'd much rather use this than those cheap AliExpress ones. So anyway, so that was testing scenario number 2. Pass with flying colors. And then lastly, testing scenario number 3, what I did was basically take the sort of softer one, a little bit more pliable one, cut a piece. You can see here the piece that I cut that's used, right? I just this is brand new, but I had another piece, full piece in the other packet. Cut out a piece like this, and basically that's what I use for my vacuum cylinder. So if you want to find out more about this, make sure you watch the video on the ultimate comfort using basically a sleeve to create a good seal for your vacuum cylinder. So this is what I use it for. And as I mentioned, I pump all the time. I definitely still maintain my pumping. I pump, I would say, at least 5 times a week for about like 30-40 minutes every time. And this is one of the why I ordered those AliExpress ones in bulk, was because it's super comfy to use in this scenario, right? Because what you want to do is for it to be super pliable, so that as you pump, right, your dick is going to expand. And if you have something that's super stiff here, it's going to be really uncomfortable as your dick expands, right? So I like the AliExpress ones because they sort of expand there. It's kind of pliable, it's sort of soft. But this was a great replacement. So this is actually the toughest test, the one that like most leaves fail. So usually what I have been using are the LGHanger ones, which are good. It's good, but it's not as comfortable, right? They're good, but they're not as soft. They're not as pliable, right? And this is why the Fk'n Mint ones comes with 3 different ones. Not as soft, not as pliable, and it doesn't expand. So when you end up having your dick starts to expand right here, imagine this is the LGHanger one, starts to expand, it becomes really uncomfortable, right? Really uncomfortable. It like starts to constrict it a lot, and it becomes really uncomfortable, which is why I was using the AliExpress ones. Problem with the AliExpress ones is they tear so easily. Like after a few sessions, you leave it on for like an hour or so there, it breaks. Okay, especially because you're using lube, to use this, and that even degrades it even more. Same with the Totalman sleeves. Those Totalman sleeves would also break. So this was a very tough test. The only ones that would survive a lot of this the LGHanger was not super comfortable, and the Malehanger ones basically is too stiff for this test. So I'm happy to say that I found a way better replacement for this vacuum sleeve, for the sleeve for the vacuum pump, the vacuum cylinder, that's actually lasts. I've left it on for hours, for days, and it never broke. This is using lube. This is doing it all the time. Obviously I would clean it, but sometimes I would not pump for days, and I would just leave it in my box, and I would come back, and I'm like surprised. I was like, wait a minute, all other sleeves that I've ever used always break. That includes the Totalman ones, and again the LGHanger ones. I mean, that lasts, but it's just not comfortable. So I would say absolutely, like if you're using a vacuum cylinder, these are the way to go. Absolutely. So always I'm not being biased. Like I actually use this every single time I pump now. It's very, very very comfortable. And if I were to run out of these for whatever reason, I'll just order more because they last way longer. And I don't imagine ordering more for a while because, you know, these still last. So in any case, though, that's pretty much it. That was, you know, I did say it was gonna be a quick and dirty review, but I did ramble a little bit on. My apologies. I'm trying to get back into the flow of making reviews, making videos. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a nice comment below, or even if it's a bad one, you know, it helps the algorithm. I don't really care. I get faced by hate and stuff, so go ahead. And yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for more fire reviews. Again, thanks for the Fk'n Mint guy. Oh yeah, one thing that I forgot that also comes in the package is a sticker. So you can use the sticker, right? It looks like the joking, or, you know, some might say white power. Again, I'm joking. But yeah, like it comes with this little sticker, which I actually have on my laptop. So I look at that every time. So you know, represent and stuff. But yeah, very happy with the product overall. I think the pricing is decent, comparable. The quality is good, and it's one of those things that I would buy and I will continue to buy because I was very happy with it, and you know, I use all the time. So with that being said, make sure you keep an eye out for more fire videos, and make sure you hit the like button again, hit that subscribe button, don't forget, and make sure you support me in the more upcoming videos because I have way more stuff coming up. So in any case, make sure you check out these other videos which may be relevant to you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.